I hope you all are fine. Today we are here to discuss the third unit in biology, which is Let's Regain Our Fields. Before going into our chapter, how is the weather in your area? Since a few days it had been raining severely, right? Now, what is the cause of rains during this November-December month? Weren't rains supposed to end during the June-July month? Yes, climatic change. Human intervention is the major problem of climatic change. Polluting and harming the environment has severely caused destruction in the climatic change. This is the reason why the rains are still continuing even though it is November, but it was supposed to end during the June-July month. These climatic changes have adversely affected the agriculture sector. Now, let's have a look at some of the crises in the agriculture sector. Look at the slide. What do you see? Yes, there are a lot of crises in the agriculture sector, like crop loss, exploitation by middlemen, fall in price, production lost, and environmental destruction and health issues. Amongst all of these problems, there is one problem that cannot be controlled by ourselves. That is environmental destruction and health issues. So, what is the solution for this one main problem? Have a look at these slides. What do you see? Are you familiar with these pictures? This is one method of farming used to overcome climatic change. This method is called polyhouse farming. So, what is polyhouse farming and how can polyhouse farming help the farmers to overcome climatic change? The word poly means polythene. So, polyhouse means polythene house. And let's see how we can overcome climatic change. Polyhouse farming is a special kind of arrangement in which a crop field is completely or partially covered using a transparent polythene sheet. Just imagine a hut where the polythene sheets are the roof and we are living inside that hut. Aren't we protected from all the wind, heat and all the other natural disasters? This is somewhat similar to it. The plants are protected inside the polyhouse. Since the crop field is covered using a transparent polythene sheet, what happens? Yes, temperature and moisture is constantly regulated. This is how we can overcome climatic change. Sudden rain or heat in the summers won't harm the crop inside the polyhouse. Nutrients are dissolved in the water and supplied through drip irrigation. Pest infestation will also be less because the sides of the polyhouse are covered using net. Although the expense is very high in the beginning, crop yield is greater than that of the regular field. Hence, polyhouse farming is a very suitable method of agriculture. Other than this, there is also a major problem in the agriculture sector, which is fall in price. Do you know what is the reason for fall in price? It is that farmers are not being able to produce proper yield as per customer wants, and hence they are forced to sell their products for a low cost, which always gives them a loss. So, is there any practical way to avoid this situation? There is one practical solution. Have a look at these pictures. Are you familiar with them? Yes, this is another method of cultivation. This is known as precision farming. In this method of farming, the crop field is tested using modern technologies. So, what are the things tested in the soil? There are lots of elements in the soil. So, quantity of elements in the soil, pH value of the soil, and since all soils differ from their quantity to hold water, presence of water, etc., are tested using modern technologies, and then appropriate crops are selected for cultivation. And then the field is covered using a polythene sheet. What happens when you cover a field using a polythene sheet? Yes, we can limit irrigation and also the growth of weeds. Other than precision farming and polyhouse farming, there are two other methods of farming. Do you know that cultivation can be done without soil also? Yes, there are two methods, which is hydroponics and aeroponics. Have a look at these pictures. The one in the right side is hydroponics and the one in the left is aeroponics. So what is hydroponics? The word hydro means water. So hydroponics means it is something associated with water. In hydroponics, plants are grown in a nutrient dissolved solution. In aeroponics, plants are grown in such a way that their roots are hanging freely into the air and nutrient dissolved solution are sprayed directly on the roots. So these are the two methods in which cultivation can be done without using soil. This can effectively control climate change. Since we have discussed 4 topics in this, let's have a look at some of the questions. These questions are from a basic science textbook, page number 122. How are modern agriculture practices helpful in reducing crop loss due to climatic change? Modern agricultural practices have effectively controlled farmers on the dependency of the arrival of suitable climate and crop loss due to sudden climate change. The modern agriculture practices like polyhouse farming, precision farming, aeroponics, hydroponics, etc. can effectively control crop loss due to climate change. The second question. What are the advantages of precision farming? The advantages of precision farming are higher yield, effectively control water. So these are the two methods in which cultivation can be done without using soil. This can effectively control climate change. Since we have discussed 4 topics in this, let's have a look at some of the questions. These questions are from a basic science textbook, page number 122. How are modern agriculture practices helpful in reducing crop loss due to climatic change? Modern agricultural practices have effectively controlled farmers on the dependency of the arrival of suitable climate and crop loss due to sudden climate change. The modern agriculture practices like polyhouse farming, precision farming, aeroponics, hydroponics, etc. can effectively control crop loss due to climate change. The second question. What are the advantages of precision farming? The advantages of precision farming are higher yield, effectively control irrigation, and environmental benefits. How does cultivation become effective without using soil? Yes, we have learned about aeroponics and hydroponics. This is the answer to this question. Cultivation can be done without soil in these two methods, which is hydroponics and aeroponics. Now the fourth question. Is it essential to retain indigenous varieties although there are many hybrid varieties available? Yes, it is really important to save our indigenous varieties. because they acquire natural immunity by adapting to the climate, food and soil texture of that particular region. And not only that, they are very highly resistant to diseases. Large-scale production of hybrid varieties may result in the extinction of indigenous varieties. Let's complete the table given in your basic science textbook, page number 123. As you can see, plantain and mango are already given. So, let's complete the blank boxes. Paddy, Tavalakannan. Tapioca, Kachil. Now, let's discuss about a new method of farming known as scientific farming. Scientists follow this method in farming. So, what is scientific method? The word scientific already means science, right? So, doing farming in a proper way is called as scientific farming. What is scientific farming? In scientific farming, identifying the problem, collecting information through observation, analysis of collected information, formulation of a proper inference, and continuous working on the inference. And thus we can effectively solve the problem in that particular field. And also this reduces the production of yield as the seeds and the plants are selected suitably with all the given criteria.
That's it for today's class. I hope you all enjoyed the class and have understood the class very well. This is of second chapter in biology.